A single tear tracks down Anna's face, illuminated by the harsh, cold light of a laptop screen. Her eyes are wide, unblinking, fixed on something just out of frame. The faint sound of a heart monitor beeping steadily in the background creates an unbearable tension. My husband, Mark, he was in that hospital bed, clinging to life. And the woman standing beside him, holding his hand, wasn't me. It was my sister, Sarah. Before the storm, there was us. Mark and I, a decade of marriage, 2 beautiful kids, and a life we'd built from the ground up. We weren't rich, but we were content. Our house was filled with laughter, the smell of freshly baked bread, and the comfortable rhythm of 2 people who knew each other inside out. Sarah, my younger sister, was practically part of the furniture. She'd gone through a tough divorce a few years back, and we'd welcomed her into our home, without a second thought. She was family, my rock. My kids adored their Aunt Sarah. We were a unit. Unbreakable, I thought. The atmosphere was calm, warm, and deeply emotional, building empathy for the life Anna was about to lose. Then things started to shift. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first. Mark started working longer hours, or so he said. Sarah was always there, always helping out. Little things. Mark would laugh a little harder at Sarah's jokes than at mine. He'd bring her coffee, without asking. I'd catch them in hushed conversations, their voices dropping when I walked into the room. A tightness began to coil in my stomach, a cold knot of unease I tried to rationalize away. The air in our home, once so light and open, now felt heavy, thick with unspoken words and unacknowledged tension. I started noticing how Sarah would always make sure she was the one bringing Marcus coffee in the morning, or his favorite snack in the evening. Little acts of service, always around him. My breath would catch in my throat when I saw them together, a silent alarm blaring in my head that I desperately tried to silence. I tried to initiate intimacy with Mark. He was distracted, checking his phone. I watched Sarah bring Mark a cup of tea, and my hand clenched into a fist, observing the soft, almost possessive gaze Sarah gave him. The phone call came in the dead of night. Mark, a sudden, massive heart attack. I raced to the hospital, my mind a blur of fear and frantic prayer. But when I got there, I didn't see a grieving wife. I saw her. I stepped into the harsh fluorescent lighting of the hospital room. Sarah was at Mark's bedside, gently stroking his hair. Mark's eyes were closed, but he stirred slightly. Sarah flinched, pulling her hand away, but her face held a mixture of guilt and defiance. Mark's eyes fluttered open, weakly, his gaze meeting Sarah's first, then mine. The heart monitor quickened slightly. Sarah? What are you doing? My voice was shaking, barely a whisper. Anna, thank God you're here. He needs me, Sarah said, trying to sound calm. Needs you? I'm his wife, Sarah, I shouted, a dangerous edge creeping into my voice. Sarah's eyes darted to Mark. He asked for me. He always asks for me. My eyes narrowed, a fire igniting in them as I pieced it all together. A sickening realization dawned on my face. Mark let out a weak groan, his eyes wide with fear and shame. Asked for you? Oh, I bet he did. Just like he asked for you to be at all those late meetings. Just like he asked for you to replace me. I cried, the words cracking with fury and heartbreak. Anna, stop. Not here, not now. He's sick. Sarah pleaded, stepping forward. Sick. You think I care about that right now? You think I care about anything when I see you, my own sister, comforting my husband, while he lies there dying? You too, you betrayed me. I screamed, a guttural cry of pain. Sarah's face crumpled. The beeping of the monitor became erratic. I whispered the words, sharp daggers. How long, Sarah? How long have you been sleeping with my husband? The fallout was immediate and brutal. Hospital staff rushed in, alarmed by the commotion and the heart monitor. I was forcibly, but gently, pulled away by a nurse. Ma'am, please. You need to calm down. He's in a critical condition. Critical? My life is critical. My family is critical. I yelled, tears choking me. I paced frantically in the waiting room, disheveled, ignoring the concerned glances of other families. My phone rang. It was my mother. I stared at it, unable to answer. How do you tell your own mother that her two daughters have ripped her family apart? I slammed my fist on a table. The sound of my own ragged breathing was amplified. Later, I cornered Sarah in the hospital corridor. She was crying, defensive. Tell me everything, Sarah. Every lie, every stolen moment. I demanded. It just happened, Anna. I was lonely.
He was there, she sobbed.
He was there? He was my husband. In my house. In our bed, probably. I gave a bitter laugh. Please, Anna, don't tell Mom.
Please.
It'll destroy her, Sarah begged, wringing her hands.
You destroyed us, Sarah.
You and him. What did you think would happen? That I'd just pretend I didn't know? That I'd forgive you both? I asked coldly. Sarah looked away, ashamed. I turned my back, shoulders shaking, the weight of the betrayal crushing me, the sound of my own desperate sobs filling the silence. Mark was stable, but still critical, and I was left in a sterile waiting room, facing the hardest choice of my life. Do I leave him now, in his weakest moment, letting my anger consume everything? Or do I stay, fulfill my vows, even to a man who broke them with my own sister? What about the children? Their father, their aunt, their world was about to be obliterated. I stared at my wedding ring, then slowly, deliberately, twisted it on my finger. The images flashed through my mind. Mark, the man I loved, the father of my children, lying helpless. And Sarah, my sister, who had fractured my trust beyond repair. To forgive felt like a betrayal of myself. To walk away felt like a betrayal of the life we'd built. I needed to act, not just react. I got up, walked towards the patient rooms, then paused outside Mark's door. I could hear hushed voices, Sarah's. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and opened them. My expression was one of profound sadness, but also a newfound, steely determination. I couldn't let this poison fester. I had to acknowledge that some things, once broken, can never be truly put back together. Weeks later, I filed for divorce. It was quiet, firm. Just the cold, hard reality of paperwork. Sarah moved out, back to her own apartment. The silence she left behind louder than any argument. Mark recovered, physically. But emotionally, he became a ghost of the man I married. He tried to apologize, to explain, but the words felt hollow. The wound was too deep. Our children adjusted, with time and careful explanations. They understood that family could still be family, even if it looked different. I learned to stand on my own 2 feet again, stronger than before. The laughter returned to our home, a different kind, perhaps, but real and heartfelt. My relationship with my sister, it never recovered. How could it? There are some lines you don't cross, some trusts that can never be rebuilt. I lost a husband and a sister, but I gained myself. I gained clarity. I finally learned that some endings are painful but necessary. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is walk away from what you thought was everything to find what you truly deserve. Tell me what you would have done.
Thank you for watching my story on the Reddit Diaries. If you found my experience compelling, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, leave a comment below, and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to reach 1,000 subscribers and bring you more powerful stories. Help us get there.